The Center for Translational Neuroscience is a different kind of brain research center.
Somehow, early on, somebody realized that this is a key need, and bringing top quality researchers and top quality clinicians together is probably the most wonderful aspect that the center fulfills for all of us here.
What we want to do is bring cures and treatments very quickly to the clinic. And so what we do is fund projects that are very close to clinical significance.
To be part of an effort like the CTN effort, where I'm working as part of an integrated team of other researchers whose full-time job is devoted to the research that I can only partly devote myself to, is a phenomenal opportunity.
We help the chairs of these clinical departments retain those faculty that are most interested in research. The Center for Translational Neuroscience has several core facilities, and you need very expensive pieces of equipment that are required for the study of the human brain. Without the infrastructure of the center, none of this research could be done. So we have to develop the core facilities that allow anybody who walks in the door with a good idea to be able to do research. We can actually work from the molecular to the cellular to the system to the whole brain and then to the human.
In this lab, in the Center for Translational Neuroscience, I actually get to see things moving along from the most basic, at looking at a single cell, looking at individual channels in that cell, going up to looking at a whole population of cells to see what a whole nucleus of these cells does, to then finally seeing what does this nucleus have to do in a whole individual, in the whole brain.
We do electrophysiology, we measure brain waves, we measure evoked responses, responses to auditory input. We measure reaction time, we measure frontal lobe blood flow, transcranial magnetic stimulation that alleviates the symptoms of tinnitus in a lot of patients. 17% of Americans have tinnitus, ringing in the ears. And some of them are very incapacitated. Some of them cannot even work. Some of them are suicidal. About 40% of them have pretty good symptom relief for a long period of time.
Not knowing the sound of silence is not the worst thing in the world, without a doubt. But never being alone with your thoughts, with a book, with my wife, always having this thing. Like I said, it's not the worst thing in the world, but certainly is my best friend. And knowing that so much is being dedicated to try to keep this from happening and try to help me and help millions of people is refreshing.
One of the projects, for example, that we have is this kangaroo care program, which involves premature babies being held by the mother in skin-to-skin contact. And what we found is that the stress hormones go way down. The respiratory problems go way down. And so we think that it's having a very positive effect. Plus, the mother has contact with the baby.
The closeness of holding her to me, it was a lot different than what I expected because, like I said, I had lost the two babies before and I never got to hold them and them move on my chest, and it's just a wonderful experience.
One of the programs that I am most proud of is the telemedicine program, the telemedicine core facility.
The other thing that we're doing that's really been exciting, we've got Pete's Place. And Pete's Place is a interactive educational program that we put on every Thursday. And we reach not only to people across Arkansas, but almost every state in the Union has now signed on.
One thing that's amazing about the CTN is the number of people that are coming from such different backgrounds. There's people that are in the psychiatry department and neurobiology, very basic research, to clinical practice, so physical therapy and neonatology and cardiology.
What we have managed to do is to decrease the mortality among babies in the entire state. Nationally, the mortality rate is 6 per thousand, but in the state of Arkansas, it's 8.5 per thousand. When we started Pete's Place, that number started to decrease over the next 4 or 5 years. Until now, it's flat at 7 per thousand. That means that about 60 babies per year are saved. When we see a school bus full of kids driving down the road, that's how many we saved this year. That's how many we'll save next year. And that feels really good.
The thing that I love about working here is that it doesn't feel like work. Like I could literally just spend like every single day, every hour of the day.
The reason why I'm so keen and such a champion of the center, of Edgar Garcia Real's involvement and his stewardship of this center, is that it's just a unique gem.
Without the funding and without this program that we have here, I would not have been able to do these wonderful things. And so I am very grateful from a personal standpoint to have been able to do this. But I have to tell you that the people that have benefited the most from this are the babies. And the babies and the families, I think, even though they're not here to express it, if they could, they would really thank the people that provide the funding for this research.
At least I was skeptical of everything. But I walked out of there saying, knowing that this works. I mean, it works. And you just think about where they're at now. Where will they be tomorrow?